Hi, I'm Bailey and this is Kalani.
And we're from North Medford Video Production. We're going to be interviewing the filmmakers of The Infiltrators, Alex and Christina. This film is about the struggles of immigration and deportation. What inspired you guys to create the film on this event?
Yeah, so The Infiltrators is a film that tells a true story of undocumented youth, people that are sometimes called dreamers in the media, who they don't have papers, they came here as children, they grew up here, and at that time, back in 2010, they had no legal protection, so they were getting deported, they couldn't get jobs, they were living in a state of fear, and they decided to fight back, to try to stop deportations and try to build something better for their communities. And along that journey of activism, they decided to infiltrate this detention center. They said, if we want to stop deportations, the place we have to do it is inside of a detention center where immigrants are held before being deported. And so that's why they're the infiltrators. They get detained on purpose to go into this place to help get people out. And to us, it was like an amazing story, a dramatic story, a story with a lot of political relevance in terms of the moment we're living in. And it was a challenging story because we had the documentary elements of what they were doing outside of the detention center, but once they went in, they disappeared from us as documentarians. And so then we had a problem, which is how do you show that? And so we decided to use actors and a scripted medium to depict what happened inside the detention center. And so then we had like something that was not only politically relevant, but artistically challenging and innovative. And then that felt rich and exciting for us as filmmakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like when we met the Infiltrators, that something in us changed. Like we saw folks who were willing to put their own bodies on the line and risk their own freedom, their own ability to go home, because they were so fed up with the way things are. And sometimes, like growing up along the border, you see a lot of injustice, and so going back and forth on the bridge between the two cities, between the city in Mexico and in the United States. And you just learn to accept things as they are. You forget to question. And it was like that just simple act that they were questioning, like whether this was ethical or moral, but with a huge risk of their own freedom. It was just so transformative for us. And so we just felt like we really had to make a film about it.
How did the deportation of Claudio Rojo, sorry if I've mispronounced that, affect you guys?
It was devastating because the deportation of Claudio after the film was devastating because when we finished the film, there was an end scene that we thought kept the question alive. You know, it's uncertain. And after the film was completed, that scene became something different. The meaning of that scene changed, now knowing that he was deported. And there's in some ways there's this question, you know, how much of it is a retaliation for him being in the film? And so there's this huge weight that we had of responsibility that we are wrestling with, wondering, you know, how much was retaliation, how much was inevitable based on his situation, and how much can we fight back? And I think Alex can speak to that.
Yeah. No, I mean it was a completely painful experience, and you know, you might hear about deportations in the news, and to me deportation is it's a sterile word. It doesn't have a lot of emotion in it. Like if I think of murder, or you know, like there's words that have a lot of emotion with them. Deportation sounds really clinical almost, but being close to his family and watching this happen and being close to him, he lived with us for a month during the filmmaking. He was on set with us, guiding the art department, talking to the actor who was playing him. Since he was with us, he helped prepare our daughter's birthday party. He's like a beautiful person, you know what I mean? Who's been in this country for 20 years.
And he's a grandfather.
He's a grandfather of an American citizen, 2-month-old baby now. Hasn't hurt anybody. We try to find someone who he's hurt. There is none. He's no criminal record, just been working and raising a family for 2 decades. And to watch that under attack by our tax dollars that we're all paying for men to handcuff him and lock him up and at gunpoint put him on an airplane and send him away, it was horrifying.
What do you want us to take from this film?
So we hope the film helps people understand the system a little better. That's number one, is just understand what is this machine, this giant system. And then number two is, like Christina says, take some inspiration from people who are not citizens who decided to fight and try to make something better in our government, trying to use whatever power they have. So just like Christina said, we think that's infectious, and it's a lesson that we all need to remember, which is that this political system that we live inside exists this way because we wake up every morning and give it permission by not doing anything. You know, every day we don't do something, we give it permission. And so this is a story about a group of people who decided to stop giving permission and started to shake things up a little bit. And that's, you know, yeah, that's our country.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.